Episode 3. Let's go.
What's going
You already
on?
know who I am.
That's it. And you know who I am.
Today is today's Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday. I don't know why. But actually, with Labor Day around the corner, got me thinking about work. Right? We both work. Um, you
It's a
know.
Monday.
Wait, today's Monday?
It's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday, bud.
Jeez, I thought today was Tuesday. Wow. Okay. Yeah, dude. My days are off. With Labor Day around the corner, got me thinking about work. Everyone has to work. Everyone needs a source of income, and that brings me to the topic of careers. So I feel like when you're in your 30s, careers is a big deal because you gotta earn money somehow. If you're not earning money, you're either rich, you got left a ton of money, or you won the lottery. Because in America, at least, you need money to survive. You need money to provide, and you need money to live. You can't live without money. And the number one way people do that right now in their 30s is by having a job. So let's start with, you know what, dude? What's your career journey been? And how did you get to where you are now?
So my career journey has been kind of crazy, I guess you could say. I've been around the block. I worked many a job. I'd say so. I'll start like I think I was. I think my first job was when I was 14. I think it wasn't like obviously not full time, but that was like my beginning to like working and stuff. So I always had side jobs. I always did like mowing lawns and stuff. A lot of people do that when they first, I guess, when they're kids and everything. They get the opportunity to go and do that. So I started off in the restaurant business, went on to hotel business, and I wouldn't really say these are careers, but they they got me to this point. Put it that way. Each experience was good, whether or not it was actually like a good thing that we had bad. I had bad experiences, good experiences, but it was all learning experiences at the end of the day, and it got me to where I needed to be now. So I what else? I was in a tent rental company. That was a journey. I don't know if you remember those stories,
I
Well,
remember that. I
went to a
remember
lot
that.
of yeah, a lot of cool places with that. We were putting up like party tents and stuff, and I was in maintenance, and then it led me into doing plumbing. So the maintenance thing, I met a plumber during that time, and he wanted me to come on board, and I did, and I don't regret it one bit. Learned a lot, did a lot of different jobs. Some jobs I would never want to do again. Pretty much, it's not fun. Then there's a lot of things that I did learn from. I still use it till today. Comes in handy. So and I do HVAC now. That's been my.
Oh,
What about you, Mo?
yeah. So, you know, my first I feel like I was always working because I was the oldest in my family. My parents had me babysit a lot while they were at work. So I was working at like 12, 13. They gave me like 20 bucks a week. And at that time, when you're 12, 20 bucks was a lot of money. So I
Yeah.
always liked just having money on me. So I was a saver at that age too. So I would save as much as I can and then would go buy a video game. And then that just got me just having that motivation to work and buy things on my own. I've always had that mindset. So it started with babysitting and then it went to I actually, when I was about 15 years old, my parents knew a guy at Subway. So the guy was like, you know what, bring your son in. I'll have him make some sandwiches. Maybe we could give him some money. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So I went in. I remember I went into Subway, and for like a week straight, I was there making sandwiches. I was cleaning the vegetables. I was putting the meat out there. I did that for I think 2 weeks straight, and eventually the guy was like, "Oh yeah, it turns out I can't pay you because you're a minor." So I was like, "Wait, I've been working here for 2 weeks. I don't get anything." He's like, "You could keep working until you're 16, and then eventually I'll give you money." I'm like, "You know what? No, I quit." So that was when I was 15, and then around the corner I turned 16, and I got a job at the grocery store, a local chain. It's called Stop and Shop, and I worked there from about 16 to 18. And honestly, it was a great first job because I'm number one. I met some really cool people. The people that I worked with, they were all my age and a little bit older, so they gave me some great advice. They gave me some great stories, and they, kind of guided me in places that I need to be because I was a 16-year-old. I didn't know much. I was making, I think, $75 a week at that time, and that was a lot of money when you're 16. Don't get me wrong. And then once I turned 18, um, I was really into math and numbers. So I had a family member who worked at the bank. So I said, hey, I really don't make enough money right now at the grocery store. I'm 18 now. Can you help me out? And he said, all right, well, I can get you an interview, but after that, it's on you. You got to earn the job. And I said, okay, bet. So after that, I went. I remember I went to 3 interviews, and I got two no's, and I got one yes. And it was after the two no's, I didn't think I would get it, but I just kept trying. I didn't give up. I just said, you know what, let's do it. So then I started working at the bank when I was 18, and 11 years later, to 2 months ago, actually, I'm sorry, 6 months ago, I decided, you know what, it's time to get out of banking, and I started dabbling into corporate finance, and that's where I am now. So that's my whole journey. That's my whole career. That's my whole working life. And number one lesson is I'm so thankful for all the people that I've met along the way. Some people I'm still talking to. I'm just grateful for all the people that I met along, all the skills I learned, and yeah. So that's been my journey, dude.
That's awesome. That is awesome. We both come
Yeah,
a long way, that's for sure.
I've been working for such a long time, and one thing I've learned is there has to be work-life balance.
Yeah.
In when we're younger in our 20s, we're grinding more. We don't have a family, we don't have someone to come home to. So listen, I was taking, I don't know about you, I mean, I bet you were working as much as you can. I said always give me the OT. If I have to work until 8, 7, 8 p.m., give it to me. I'll take it. I'll come in as early as you want. I always wanted the more money because I, again, didn't have to come home to a wife or kids or anything like that. So I think now it's different.
Yeah. I still, believe it or not, I still struggle with that, wanting to take the OT and whatnot. That's just, and if I'm not, then, I'm enjoying myself, but at the same time, I'm always thinking of, I could be, making a few extra
Do
bucks.
you
I still haven't gotten over that. And a lot of people, I feel like, struggle with that. Well, I would say a lot. I don't know if a lot of people do. I mean, I feel like I know a few people that do. Like they're workaholics. I wouldn't really classify myself as that, but I do, I do struggle a little bit with wanting to work more. I get 3 days off a week, which I'm blessed. So that's awesome for the
Wow,
kids.
you don't know how blessed you are with that.
I know, and you know what? And it's me and my wife talk all the time. Like they need a volunteer at work, and sometimes I do, especially during the summertime. It gets really busy. But yeah, there's sometimes where I shouldn't really have to, I guess, volunteer in a sense because I have to spend time with the family. People also may be in the position though where they do need to take that. You know what I mean? That's the other end, and that's where it stinks because you can't. What do you do at the end of the day? You change your career maybe if you can make more money and work a little less, but it's that's a tough position to be in.
Actually, that brings me to another point with career conversations because a lot of people, as they're entering their 30s, like me and you, I think we got lucky. We figured out what we want to do, and we found out some things we like, and we found a good way to make money off it. But there's others who go into their 30s and they're like, man, I don't know what to do. I tried this, I
Well,
tried that, but what am I gonna do?
Some people are like, what have I been doing for the past 10 years?
Yeah, and they're like, it's been
I
10
mean, it
years
is what
now.
it is. Yeah,
And
it's
I will say it's not too late. It's not too late to figure out what you want to do. But in your 30s, it's time to start doubling down. You know what I mean?
well, put it this way, even people who are older than us too and are just figuring things out, I mean, it's still not too late, man. You can make a change as long as it comes like you gotta be you gotta be all in. And and sometimes you gotta make those sacrifices for your family. Unfortunately, that is the way of our world. Most people don't get the time. Like for instance, a lot of people don't in the HVAC business too. I mean, a lot of people are just working nonstop. And that's how I used to be. It was just nonstop, go, 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 and you just work till you drop. And then you have no time to do anything at home, no time with the kids, no time with your wife, which is important. You need that because otherwise you just end up divorced or whatever. And it happens, but I'm not going to get into all that. I mean, yeah, sometimes you just got to make the sacrifice, I guess, at the end of the day for in a position. The other option would be to look into other jobs, other careers.
What do you think a person should do when they really don't know what to do? Is it like, hey, let me take the first thing that comes my way, or should I hold out for something that maybe that they really want? Like, what's your take on that?
It's a good question. So I guess you would just like in my case, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I found an interest when I was working doing maintenance and stuff. So I thought the plumbing, electrical. I already had a little bit of electrical background from school and stuff. So between that, I already had a kind of an idea what I wanted to do as far as a trade goes. So I really think it just comes down to the individual, what's their interest, because you can make anything happen pretty much. I mean, any type of interest that you have, you can make something out of it. Whether it's, for instance, trades and stuff, you don't know exactly what you want to do. I mean, you got to go try it. Go talk to a buddy that does it. See how it's what it's all about. Do a side job with them or something like that. See what it's all about. Get interested. If you don't like it or if it's not for you, you'll know. And if you don't think it's for you, but you want to keep going forward with it, it's kind of like my thing. I kind of forced myself to follow through with HVAC in a sense. There was a point in time where I was very discouraged and because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I messed a lot of things up, way too much. So you learn from those mistakes, though. It's embarrassing, but without that failure, um, without the experiences, you're not you're not going to learn. So my advice to someone would be to just give something a shot. You even pick something out of the blue, wing it, see how it goes. I mean, what do you have to lose at that point? Get to know someone that does it, pick their brain, talk.
Yes, some people get very lucky. They just,
They do.
I think I remember there was a kid in my class who worked at one of those chain restaurants, right? They were a host, and then they became a waiter, and then like a manager for the restaurant, and then from there they like went to I don't know what the word is, but they like ran multiple restaurants, like the franchise manager, I guess, is that the name?
Cool.
And then
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
now they're like they own actual restaurants under their name and stuff, and like they never want and from what I remember, she never wanted to work in the restaurant industry. She just needed a job at like 16, 17, and now she's like on top. So you just never know where you're gonna end up. You just gotta sometimes, like
You
I
know,
said, people get lucky.
whoever that was, they worked. I'm sure they worked hard to get to that point, no doubt. Maybe it's not really what they wanted for themselves, but that's a good example right there. And good work ethic and stuff will go a long way, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
I was
awesome.
from what from what you said before, this is what I gathered. Basically, even if you don't know what you want to do, you have some type of skill. In the last 10 years, from your 20 to 30, you've developed something that you're good at. Take that little thing or whatever it is. I'm sure there's a job out there that you could either craft it to a better skill or take that and it might be worth like making money somehow. I think the question is, do you have the dedication to find that job and then do the interview, put the work in, and get the job, and then do a good job once you get the job. I think,
Yeah.
and I think we can dive into this topic now. Work ethic. That's big, right?
Mm-hmm. When you've been around the field, like this is the whole thing. I don't like prejudging someone, but there are instances where like, is this guy gonna last? Probably not, and it happens. You sometimes you want to feel bad for someone just because of the way they are, but other times they just bring it upon themselves, and that's most of the time. Like you know who those people are. You can kind of point them out. Some people though, they change. They do good. Like for instance, in a situation like I could always relate to myself. I was not like I always worked. I always worked my butt off, but as far as like attitude and stuff goes, there was times where I just had a bad attitude. I've been at the point of where I punched my van a few times, busted my knuckles. Yeah, it is what it is. Just because of frustration and stuff. Attitude adjustment. That's what I needed. So people like that. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. I know a few. It happened.
And what was the game changer when you said you had an attitude adjustment? What happened where you were just like, you know what, I gotta change? Like, was there something that happened, or you just woke up one day like, nah, I gotta work better? Like what was the change there?
My boss had a talk with me and said he sees something in me.
Wow.
That's what he said. So what ended up happening was he's like, listen, me and a bunch of other guys are going to this class. I want you to come with us. And he's like, normally I wouldn't have someone just in your position to do this, but I see that you try and you want to learn and you want to do it. He's like, your attitude has to change though. He's like, I'll give you this shot. And that's pretty much what happened. So it was good and it did change like that. I would say it wasn't like the best. What we went to, our class that we took, it wasn't like the best class out there but there was one thing that spoke to me, which was basically, um, I guess just how you can change the position that you're in as far as where you are in life. It was a little bit. It was kind of like a weird seminar, but it was good. It was like kind of like a salesy seminar, which worked. Like it was like it worked out for me at least. I know that. And the guy was basically talking about how he was in prison and he basically changed his life around. So like that's kind of the gist of it. So it was like one of those kind of speeches. I'm sure people have heard this stuff before and whatnot, but it was a powerful story. And he was just talking about how the mind works and how it all goes together. That's where I started setting goals and stuff. That's where I first like really I started to hone in on it. And at the end of the day it really worked out, and I feel like I got closer to God too that way. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but I was brought up in a Christian home. I lost my way, man. You know me, Mo. I've done some crazy, stupid, bad things,
You
and
have, yeah.
I'm not happy about. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? You can't change the past. You can't, and you can't change where you're from, what you did. It is what it is, and we all still make mistakes today. None of us are going to be perfect. That's just how it is. But you gotta really. In my case, I really just prayed about it, and little by little, my life has been changing. Slowly. I probably could change quicker if I do. I don't know, make different moves, I guess, and just do different things. But we all learn at our own pace. I was always the one to learn the hard way. and I'm blessed for what I got now, and I'm, I'm happy, proud, and I can't ask for more. I mean, I got the dream pretty much. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm happy. I'm a happy person. So, and I like to show others, and this is one thing that makes me happy, right? So I love teaching people. I love teaching people things, like no matter what it is, like from just anything that I know, HVAC especially. Like I love teaching that, and then I love teaching people just I like telling people about me a little bit, hoping that maybe they can relate in some way, and maybe they can make a change for themselves that they need to make, and rub off on someone a little bit. And I feel like I feel like I wouldn't say made a difference in people's lives, but definitely I made a lot of good friends. And people do say, like, you're a little different in some ways, like just you're just mature. Yeah, I want to say I'm a kid at heart, but I act up. But I had a lot of good conversations.
Listen, there's something that resonated with me what you just said. You said at the end of the day you're happy, right? And to
Yeah,
tie it back to like careers and stuff, I think a lot of people want to do something that makes them happy, and it's
yeah,
not always easy to get there. Sometimes you just have to work really hard until you get to that point. And that's not an issue because at some point, as long as you have that goal, back to the goals we talked about last episode, you'll get to where you will have to get. But you have to put in the work. And I actually posted something on my Instagram today about people that are entitled. You can't just expect things to happen to you. Like you're not just
no,
gonna wake up and be handed a job making $1 million. No, you have to put in the work, and whether it's the smallest thing you can do to get where you need to be, you'll get there. But you can't just expect it to happen. Like you need to put in the work, and you need to craft your skills, and you need to have a goal, especially in careers. Um, just work hard at it, and you get to where you need to.
people need to humble themselves. There was a point in time where I was making this is this is going back now when I first started doing HVAC. So this is after I was doing plumbing for a while. That business was kind of going under. It was an old mom and pop shop, whatever. And there, I needed to get out of there. I wasn't getting enough hours, wasn't working enough. It was great, but I mean, a lot of time, free time, but I didn't want that. I wanted to work. So I went and went with this other company, and I was put under pressure just because I didn't know what I was doing. So like he expected me to do certain things, and I couldn't fulfill those certain things. Whatever. He was paying me pretty good for what I was doing, and he wanted me because he knew I would learn. He knew I would, just the hard way. It's just the way it is. A lot of people learn that way, especially in our industry. You mess up a lot. You start off knowing nothing. It is what it is. So he started me off with, like, I think it was like $18 an hour or something, somewhere around there. I ended up taking a pay cut to $15 an hour, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that was a lot of money, especially with the time that I was working, the overtime, all that. Like that's a lot of money. I took a pay cut to $15 an hour so I would learn more, and I would be in a position to where they were going to teach me.
Someone has to just take a pay cut to learn, and you're still able to eat. You know, eat as in like, hey, you have shelter, you have other stuff going on, and you're able to take that pay cut and still survive. Do it because why not? Actually, you said something about the past before, and you're like, we all did bad things in the past and stuff like that. But hey, if it wasn't for those things in the past, you wouldn't be who you are and where you are today. So
And just
yeah, I've done some shitty things in the past too. But it's a weird thing to say, but I kind of appreciate all the bad shit that happened to me because it
yeah,
brought me to where I am today.
it's that's the truth. Yeah, absolutely. You could still be like, I wish I didn't do something, but I mean, at the end of the day, you did it. You learned from it. It built your character in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not all
And
bad, I guess.
having good character, will translate into good work ethic, and good work ethic will translate into good money. A lot of people in our 30s, um, they think, okay, so why would I want to work for someone else when I can have my own business? What's your take on people that don't want to work for someone that want to start their own business, and they kind of get stuck in there, like, I'm not going to work for anyone, but like at the same time, like, what are you doing about your business? And like, what's your take on that?
That's a big question. So first of all, I mean, someone having their own business, that's awesome. You got to grab it by the balls and do you. It's a lot of, I know this. All right. So I'm just going to go by what I know, what I relate to. So excuse me. As far as the trades go, I feel like that's probably one of the toughest things is to start your own business in a sense. You got to be careful. Number one, I never had my own business before. I thought about it a few times. I was really debating it, but and I'm not, 100% out of that. But I feel like at the end of the day, um, something you got to be careful. You got to have a game plan. You have to have a business plan. You have to have it all laid out. You'll learn as you go along. You will. So you don't want to be in the situation. I've talked to a lot of people who had their own businesses. They failed. I wouldn't say really failed. They sold out a little sooner than what they probably could have, just because of financial mistakes. I feel like that's the most common. Whether you're charging enough or not, that's part of your business plan. So I feel like it's a good thing to do is starting your own business. I feel like everyone should have that experience. I feel like more smaller businesses, the better in some cases.
What I was thinking about people that, that want to do their own thing and start their own thing, a lot of people think it's one or the other, but you can do both because number one, you still need a job to provide, right? You still need a job to survive. That doesn't mean on the side or when you get out of work, you can't grind towards your own business. Hey,
Oh
if
yeah,
you get out of work at 5, 6 o'clock, and if you need some time with your family, good, take that family. But if you want to use the last 2 hours before bed to just, like you said, do a game plan, get a business plan, get everything together, and just work little by little, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking it one step at a time.
depending on where you live, though, you can get in trouble in the trades for that if you get caught.
Right. I think in different industries, there's
Yeah,
different
different
things you
industry.
can and can't do.
We're
Right.
not promoting that. As long as you're doing your best every day, you're supporting yourself, your family, you're being fed, like you said, man, and you're happy and comfortable, that's what matters at the end of the day. That's what matters. If you're not happy, comfortable, or whatever, you're not being fed at your company, that's when you make a move to get out, go to either to a different company, start your own business. Starting your own business sounds like when you say it like that, sounds a little easy. It's not, but um, I've never, if someone says, "Hey, Matt, I was thinking about starting my own business," do it, man. Honestly, do it. I think you should. I think it's a good idea. You'll never know until you try it. You know?
There's something you said actually that you said, even if you fail, so what? Well, the thing is, even if you fail, dude, that experience you just did
You
is
learned.
going to translate a lot on a resume. I mean, if I was a business leader, if I had my own business, and there's someone that came to me saying, "Hey, I tried doing this, and I failed." Hey, yeah, you did fail, but you learned a lot along the way. That's going to help me. My first instinct to be to hire you to let me know, like, "Hey, what did you do wrong, and how can I not do that?" So,
Yeah.
there's different ways you can go about it, but definitely not against, starting your own business and stuff like that. Just find the right path and just don't think that it's impossible. There's definitely a way. Just find your own way within the law too. Like like you said, different industries have different laws and rules and
Yeah.
regulations and stuff. Find an expert, find a mentor in that industry, and get under their wing because you will learn a lot. I mean, in my world, and I don't know if you can relate. I never want to be the smartest person in anything. I always want to have someone that knows more than me that I can learn from.
Yep.
And the moment I'm the smartest in the room, I know I'm doing something wrong because if I have hit the roadblock and I'm in the room where, listen, I know what to do and all these people don't, all right, my growth has just hit the ceiling. Like I cannot grow anymore. My advice is always try to learn more. Always try to find someone that knows more than you, get under their wing, get have a good relationship with them, and learn as much as you can, because that person eventually is going to leave, or do something on their own, or do something different, and you can either take their place or you can do it your way. What do you think about that?
Don't be a know-it-all.
Oh yeah,
Don't be a know-it-all. That runs into trouble. Like I meet a lot of people like that. They know everything, and you have to have an open mind. You have to be willing to learn more. There's always new things happening in the world. There's new technology, whatever. In my field, it's the technology, and there's always something new. Um, don't be afraid of it either. To learn it. A lot of people, oh, I don't, I'm afraid. I don't know it. I don't want to know it. I'm going to stay away from it. That type of thing. Sometimes you just gotta try it, give it a shot.
what would you do if you're in a job that you feel comfortable with, but it's not exactly paying the bills? What would you do in that space?
Well, time to pull up your big boy pants and make a move. I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, man, if it ain't paying, um, let me put it this way. Let me play I guess the middle road here, or play the other end. You can always pray about it, right? Like in my situation, right? I pray about it and see what happens, see what comes along the way. At the end of the day, though, you have free will to make a move and go do something more. So a lot of people, they'll wait and wait and wait until it's too late, or whatever the case is, right? And some people may be in a position too where they, I guess can't for a certain reason. I guess in a sense of like depending on how old you are and stuff, if you're getting your retirement money or however that works. Like there's different situations here, so I'm not speaking for every little thing, but at the end of the day, um, if you're fully able to, you need to make a move. I mean, that's just simple as that. In a sense, let me compare it to myself real quick. So when I was in New Jersey, I was getting paid well. I was doing good. It is a little different, but it's kind of the same thing. Like as far as like when taxes go up and stuff, my pay isn't going to be going up anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not how it works. So it may a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Eventually, it's going to catch up to me, and I'm not going to be able to afford this place no more. So what I do, I sold it, and I went off yonder. So and that's what you have to do sometimes. In a situation as far as I'm not saying leave your state, leave everything behind like I did. I'm just saying you need to look elsewhere to see what's out there. See if you can get a better paying job. Unfortunately, depending on what you do, I guess it's very difficult, I think, to get something that's better paying. A lot of companies just want, they want the best for the cheapest. I mean, and it don't work that way. It don't. So I know some people are in situations that you can't really fix, and it's unfortunate, and I'm sorry for you. But I don't know. Trades are always open. There's always money to be made there. So
Yeah. I think it's a very difficult question you need to sometimes ask yourself. Like, hey, am I comfortable, or am I really just not gonna make it here? Because at the end of the day, if you're comfortable, number one, you're not growing anymore. So that's it for you. If that's what it is for you, and you're okay with the pay you have right now, and you're okay living with the bare minimum to get through,
mhm.
and that's what you want, cool deal. But if you're in your 30s and you get to the point where things are getting more expensive, and what you're making at the time is not enough, all right, it's going to go back to our other conversation about, hey, is there other skills you can learn? Can I make my current skills better? And it's time to say goodbye to your job, because you need something better. You need to be able to bring, especially if you have a family, you need to be able to provide. I think that's a big topic in careers. especially as a man, I'm sure you can relate. Some women too, you need to be able to make sure that your family can eat.
Like a lot of people could take it the wrong way as far as feeling comfortable. There's nothing wrong with feeling comfortable at where you're working. It's a good thing that you are comfortable, but as long as you're supporting yourself and your family, obviously, if you're comfortable doing what you're doing, obviously there's
Right.
no problem with that. But if you are a go getter, obviously comfortability is not the best thing for you. So you need to live on the edge a little bit.
30s are a great time to just do as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and eventually you're going to be making as much as you can. That's the path right there. That's the cheat code to your 30s and career wise.
Yep, I agree.
You got anything
That was a
else?
good thought. No, man. Think we did a good job. Think we figured it out. Think we solved all the problems of the world. So I think we're good. I think we can retire.
Yeah, retirement is something I am
We
not.
should we should
It's
talk
weird
about
because
that sometime.
yeah, we should. I think retirement is a very big topic.
My retirement is going to be on the bike, just traveling. Hopefully, making videos by then. That's the plan. I don't know.
We're at a good spot to wrap. Um, we talked about a lot. At the end of the day, a career, having a career is important. Make sure you're crafting your skills. Make sure you're learning. Never be the smartest person in the room. Always have room to grow, and it's never too late to find your right career. Just keep trying. You will find it. Matt, what do you got to say?
Trades.
Yeah. Episode 3. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time at episode 4.
See y'all.